Everyone wants to tell you Red Lobster died from endless shrimp. They're wrong. Endless shrimp wasn't the disease, it was the death rattle of a brand that had quietly been dying for 20 years. While everyone in marketing applauded the cheddar biscuits and missed the patient flatlining on the table. I'm Greg Jung. Welcome to Marketing Malpractice. Before I autopsy this thing, I should tell you something, because this one's personal. I grew up in Sweetser, Indiana, population about 800 people, depending on who's counting and how recently they left. In a town that size in the 80s and 90s, Red Lobster wasn't just a restaurant. It was an event. The Red Lobster up in Kokomo, Indiana, was where you took your date before prom, because nothing said I'm taking this evening seriously like a baked potato and a shrimp cocktail. And the one down in Anderson, Indiana, was where my aunt took me for fancy dinners out, mostly so I could inhale my body weight in Cheddar Bay biscuits and pretend I was a sophisticated adult. For a kid from Sweetser, that was as fancy as dinner got. I'm telling you this because Red Lobster wasn't selling seafood. It was selling an occasion. And the death we're really here to investigate is the day Red Lobster stopped being anybody's occasion. That occasion had an architect. 1968, Lakeland, Florida, a man named Bill Darden opens up the first Red Lobster and pulls off something audacious. He takes seafood, which middle America thought was expensive and intimidating, and turns it into something a family of four could afford on a Tuesday. That's not a tactic. That's a positioning masterstroke. By the mid-2000s, Red Lobster is the largest seafood chain on earth. 700 locations and a free biscuit that, to a 9-year-old in Anderson, Indiana, tasted like the future. Here's the part nobody tells you. At its peak, Red Lobster owned a clear position in a clear category for a clear customer. That's the whole game. Lose any one of these three and you start dying. Even if the P&L looks fine for another 10 years, Red Lobster lost all three. Let's autopsy how. Here's the version you've already heard. 2014. Darden sells Red Lobster to a private equity firm, Golden Gate Capital, for $2.1 billion. Golden Gate runs the classic PE playbook, sells off the real estate underneath the restaurants, pockets the cash. Red Lobster now pays rent to live in buildings it used to own. 2015, Thai Union, the world's largest tuna supplier, buys in. By 2020, they own the whole thing. The supplier is now the landlord, the menu planner, and the boss. 2016, Endless Shrimp goes permanent, $20. Red Lobster loses $11 million on it in a single quarter. May 2024, 93 restaurants close overnight. Days later, Chapter 11. Every business journalist on earth will tell you that that's the story. The real estate, the shrimp, the Thai guys. Those are causes of bankruptcy. They are not causes of death. The brand was already in the morgue when private equity showed up in 2014. That's why it was for sale. So let's do the actual autopsy. Malpractice number 1, positioning drift. For 30 years, Red Lobster meant one thing: approachable, family-friendly seafood for middle America. Then leadership got bored. They wanted upscale, then fast casual, then health conscious. In 2014, they launched a campaign called Seafood Differently, a tagline that needs a pun, a comma, and a small prayer to function. Here's what every senior marketer learned the hard way. Repositioning a 50-year-old brand isn't a marketing exercise. It's a generational rebuild. 5 years, hundreds of millions of dollars, and the nerve to ignore quarterly results while you do it. Red Lobster never had that runway, so every repositioning was really just a repainting. Meanwhile, Olive Garden ate the family dinner occasion. Bonefish Grill ate the premium seafood occasion. And Red Lobster ended up meaning something with shrimp. That's the most common malpractice I see in legacy brands. Cosmetic repositioning instead of strategic patience. Malpractice number 2, promotion addiction. When brand strength fades, traffic falls. When traffic falls, the easy lever is a promotion. Lobster Fest, Crab Fest, Endless Shrimp. For a decade, Red Lobster trained its customers to come in only when there was a deal. It stopped being a destination. It became a discount calendar with a parking lot. And then the masterpiece, June 2023. Red Lobster makes endless shrimp permanent. $20, all the shrimp you can eat, forever. That wasn't a marketing strategy. That was a supply chain decision wearing a marketing costume. Thai Union, the parent company, also happened to be one of the world's largest shrimp suppliers. They needed to move inventory. So the marketing team got handed a value proposition that was secretly an inventory clearance event. Red Lobster's own bankruptcy filings blamed Thai Union's, quote, undue influence. Promotions don't build brands, they harvest them. Harvest a brand for 10 years without planting anything new, and the field goes barren. The day a discount is the only reason anyone walks in the door is the day you've lost pricing power for good. Malpractice number 3, generational abandonment. The Red Lobster customer in 2024 looked almost identical to the one in 1994, just 30 years older. They never built a bridge to the next generation. The Cheddar Bay biscuit became a viral meme without Red Lobster lifting a finger. And in 2016, Beyonce name-checked Red Lobster in her song Formation. The next day, Super Bowl Sunday, sales jumped 33% over the year before. The CEO called it the Beyonce bounce. The biggest pop star alive handed Red Lobster a cultural moment most brands would commit minor crimes to get. And here's the punchline. Red Lobster didn't even know it happened until they noticed they were trending on Twitter for the first time in company history. They found out about the gift from the internet. Then they sat on it for hours. And the response, when it finally came, was so limp it got mocked harder than the silence would have. A press release about Beyonce. Cultural relevance is a perishable asset. You don't get to choose when culture hands you a gift. You only choose whether you're paying enough attention to catch it. Red Lobster wasn't paying attention to Beyonce, to the memes, to any of it. And that's not bad luck. That's a marketing organization that fell asleep at the wheel somewhere around the Bush administration and never woke up. So, 3 lessons. Steal them. Use them tomorrow. Number 1, audit your position every 5 years, not your campaigns. Campaigns are tactics. Positioning is strategy. Most teams refresh campaigns every year and never touch positioning. Red Lobster did the opposite. Endlessly tweaked positioning, never built a memorable campaign. Do both on different clocks. Number 2, track the share of your revenue that comes from discounts. If over 30% you don't have a brand, you have a clearance rack with a logo. Set the number. Watch it monthly. Defend it like your CFO defends margin. Number 3, get your team in a room this week. Ask them, what cultural moments did our category have in the last 2 years? And how did we show up? If the answer is, we didn't, your marketing org is reactive, not relevant. Have the meeting Red Lobster never had. Red Lobster didn't die from endless shrimp. It died from 20 years of small, quiet decisions made by marketing leaders who confused activity with strategy. And somewhere in there, it stopped being the place where a kid from Sweetser took his date before prom, or where an aunt treated her nephew to cheddar biscuits on a Saturday night out. The tragedy isn't that any of those decisions were irreversible. It's that no one in the building was willing to make the call. Next time on Marketing Malpractice, we autopsy a brand that had the future in its hands and handed it back. Until then, watch your positioning, cut your promotions, and for the love of God, if Beyonce mentions your brand, don't find out from Twitter.